Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Scott here. I'm trying to speak up because it's windy and there's a lot of road noise from the expressway. That is I-75. That's my Jeep Gladiator. But more importantly, that is the world headquarters, North American world headquarters, potentially former world headquarters for Jeep, Chrysler, Daimler, whatever, Stellantis, whatever they're calling it now. Stay tuned.
If a manufacturer doesn't have enough confidence in the quality of what he makes, he doesn't have the right to ask you to buy it. And it doesn't make any difference what he makes. Washing machines, toasters, or roller skates. Me, I'm in the car business. And I've been saying for a long time that Chrysler makes cars that are as good, if not better, than anything coming out of America, Europe, or Japan. Now, to show you the kind of confidence we have in the quality of our products, right now, when you buy any new Chrysler, Plymouth, or Dodge American-built passenger car, Chrysler will protect your investment three ways. One, a 5-year or 50,000-mile protection plan on the engine and powertrain. Two, 5 years or 50,000 miles rust-through protection on the outside of the car. Three, 5-year or 50,000-mile free scheduled maintenance. Now that's confidence. But let's face it, if we don't believe in our products, why should you? So if you can find better protection, take it. If you can find a better car, buy it.
You might want to think about buying a quality product from me.
Okay, I'll buy from you.
Oh, that's what?
Okay, I'm out of the weather right now, out of the noise, and thanks to many of you, I've got information, and I told you I'd share information as I had it. If you haven't watched the last Jeep video, watch that now. I don't know where it is, here, wherever. But this is more information follow-up from you guys that I've dug into deeper to look and to do some more research. And unfortunately, this is not looking good. Let's cover a few areas here. First of all, the brands. Jeep, in my previous video, I talked about 1,100 Jeep employees from the Toledo factory in Ohio that they were going to lay them off starting the first of the year. It was a Gladiator plant. A lot of you said that, you didn't really like Gladiator, whatever it is. But unfortunately, I didn't realize this, but Stellantis told the UAW last year prior to the strike that it wanted to actually close both plants in Toledo, the Gladiator and the Wrangler plant. So this isn't just a Gladiator issue. It's a Wrangler issue. It's a Jeep issue. The prices are too high and quality is terrible. So that's the first one. Let's talk about the next. Okay, next brand is Chrysler, and I didn't realize, I'm not a Chrysler guy, but Chrysler only sells 2 vehicles. They only manufacture the Pacifica minivan and the Chrysler 300, but the Chrysler 300 they can't sell. I don't think they've manufactured them for a while because everything you look on and I'll show you here, the corporate website has a Chrysler 300, but it's a couple years old. It's not even a new one. They do not have a new one. So I'm assuming that they're not manufacturing them today. They got old stock they're trying to get rid of and pass it off as a new vehicle. It's ridiculous. They're trying to sell old vehicles. Look at their website. I mean, the more digging I do with Chrysler, the worse this gets. But unfortunately, Chrysler doesn't look like it's going to survive. Okay, Ram. Let's talk about Ram. This used to be Dodge, and they changed the name so it'd be tougher to Ram because Ram was their logo. I don't know why they changed it. It used to be the cheaper, less expensive alternative to Ford, to GMC, to Chevy in the pickup truck world. If you're looking for an affordable pickup truck, typically people would buy a Dodge. But because of Stellantis and the greedy wisdom that they've decided to focus on making more money, they're going after the more expensive truck market. And they've kind of tried to pretty up their trucks a little bit and make them more expensive. They actually have trucks. Yes, Ram has trucks that go for over $100,000. Yes, they have a $125,000 plus truck out there. And by the way, it's not selling. They have these all over the place. The dealers have been sitting on them. And they're years old, like the Chrysler 300. It's been sitting around for a while, and now this price tag is 6 figures. Ridiculous. I don't know if Ram's going to even make it. Okay, let's talk about dealers. I keep talking to more and more dealers that are actually willing to talk to me, and this never happened before. And I'm going to mention anybody's name, but the dealers feel like Stellantis is abandoning them. Usually when a vehicle sits around for any length of time, the manufacturer will give sales incentives to the dealer, to the customer, such as 0% financing, you know, $10,000 off. Like who would ever have a Chrysler 300 that's been sitting around for a couple of years and not put huge incentives, monster incentives? Just get it off. You don't want an old vehicle sitting around as a new vehicle. I mean, that's crazy. Well, the dealers seem to feel that Stellantis isn't supporting them. They're just not around. I did a Car Edge inventory search on Ram trucks, few Ram trucks, and a couple of these Ram trucks have, or these dealers have inventory year or more worth of inventory in stock. What? I mean, this is terrible news. You unfortunately may see dealers, Jeep, Ram, certainly Chrysler dealers going out of business. And that could be in the very near future. Okay, and it keeps getting uglier. So here's the plan. What is the Stellantis plan on digging out of this ugly mess? And unfortunately, the more digging I do, the worse this gets. There's been a lot of CEO turnover with Stellantis. The Jeep CEO is a brand new CEO. There are many previous Jeep CEOs. The wheels are falling off the bus in Jeep. And here's the deal with that building. So the building used to be what I consider the Chrysler World Headquarters, and was forever. I keep calling it Chrysler, so if I don't call it Stellantis, I apologize. That's how I know it. It was built in 1991. I think they occupied it in 1992. It's got the Chrysler emblem out front. What do they call the emblem? I forget what they call the emblem, but it's a big Chrysler emblem out front. But here's the bottom line. I've talked to people that work on the inside, and it's fairly abandoned. Now, I didn't know this, but Stellantis went to the UAW and let them know that they want to get out from under that building. They wanted to get rid of that building a year ago, and the UAW said no because I guess there's union workers inside of that. I didn't think they were, but they are. But unfortunately, the UAW blew a gasket, and so Stellantis changed their plans. They still plan on selling and closing that facility. They are in the process right now of weeding down and getting rid of people and cutting people and reorganizing things. So the end of 2025 is the end date for being in the Chrysler World Headquarters, what they call the Chrysler Technology Center, CTC Center, which is sad. I was there many years ago in the 90s during its heyday. It was fantastic to see and kind of a bustling place. Now I heard it's abandoned. Now they tell me the bottom two floors, they call the garage and the lab, or the garage and the lab. I don't know how you break them up, but essentially those are abandoned. They're not growing those. So a lot of times a part, I guess, would go into the lab to see where it failed, where the issue is, for quality control purposes. And now they've shipped all of those things to low-cost countries, to Brazil, to India. And all the engineers, they're replacing the engineers with low-cost engineers, low-cost countries, and they're going to have major quality problems. They're already seeing quality problems. It's terrible. I mean, the executives are turning over, people are resigning, quitting, they're cutting people. It's just a sad state of affairs because Chrysler went through these big problems in the late 70s, the 80s, and they've come back with they came back with the minivan. We can go into that in another video. But the problem here is this American company, which was bailed out by the government, is now turned hands, turned problems, going in the wrong direction. The people that own it obviously are in Europe. They don't understand the American market. Peugeot is the parent company that owns them. When's the last time you bought a Peugeot? Okay. And what do you know about a Peugeot? I know nothing good about a Peugeot, and that's the company that's directing it. It's very sad to see this. So let's dig a little bit deeper. So they're moving everything out of the CTC. They have closed things. They've eliminated jobs, replacing engineers, executive turnover. Here's something I didn't know. The Jeep plant that we talked about in the last video in Ohio, where they're laying off 1,100 workers, I guess it's just the beginning of things. Again, the Stellantis went to the UAW last year and told them that they actually wanted to close both those plants. So the two Jeep plants, not just the Gladiator plant, but the other Wrangler plant in Ohio, they want to move those to Mexico. They want to move production to Mexico. And I don't know how that's going to work with the new Trump presidential term, where the tariffs. That's a terrible planning on Stellantis' part. Like if they're going to move manufacturing and then try to sell them into the U.S., I mean, imagine what the price would be then. It's ridiculous. And the quality, Mexico's not known for quality. I mean, companies move to Mexico in low cost, not to do things better or for innovative reasons. No, because it's cheaper. People are cheaper, will work for free, and move plants to China because, I mean, let's face it, there's which essentially is slave labor, which is allowed there. It's just sad. So this whole spiral for Stellantis is terrible. Again, the plan is to cut both Jeep plants in Ohio, the assembly plant complex in Detroit. Jefferson North plant, which is a Dodge plant, is on the chopping blocks. There's a Belvedere plant, which they planned on and told about opening. They're not going to reopen. They're actually moving the electric car plant, the new electric car they were going to put in there. I think they're moving to Argentina or Brazil. They're moving into a low cost country. And here's another sad part. I grew up in Sterling Heights, and the Sterling Heights assembly plant where they make I think they make what used to be the Dodge 1500 pickup trucks. They want to move that to Mexico. And what I understand is that Stellantis really would like to move its North American headquarters to Mexico, move it out of Auburn Hills. And they're on the way to do that. It's just sad. All of this is spiraling out of control. Will they survive? What's going to happen? Will they sell off Jeep? I heard a rumor that a Chrysler family member approached Stellantis about purchasing Chrysler because there's nothing left of Chrysler. And they turned them down. Stellantis said nothing, our brands are not for sale. I don't understand. If things are falling off, the wheels are falling off, why wouldn't you sell? So this is the news. The digging I do is terrible. Unfortunately, it looks like no matter what, the world headquarters in Auburn Hills, that building that I showed you, I'll put some video here. That building will be gone, or at least they will be gone from the building. They've talked about turning it into a mall or something else. And I can tell you about the a BYD, which is a Chinese automotive manufacturer, has been touring that building. Are they going to buy the building? Are they going to buy parts of the Stellantis manufacturing? Are they going to move in there with their Chinese manufacturing? Oh, who knows? This is terrible news for the auto industry. This is terrible news for the consumer. Prices are going up. They got a lot of crap quality. What do you think? Is this bad news that you want to hear? Do you know more? And if you know more, give it to me. I'm trying to give you a ton of information all at once. Maybe I should break this up and show you details and segments, but it's just terrible news for the automotive industry and Stellantis, Chrysler, whatever you want to call it. All right, enough venting. I'm sorry about this. Maybe I'll have good news here shortly. I hope so. Thanks.